It's a move that's as bold as sending a diplomat to the Death Star and expecting Darth Vader to share his plans. The mere thought of a rogue nuke in its neighborhood is nothing short of a nightmare. It's a demonstration of soft power. You could call it a gesture of diplomatic goodwill. This unpredictability makes dealing with North Korea a constant challenge, no matter how diplomatic India's approach might be or get. Today we are talking about a decision that is making waves in the world of geopolitics. India's reopening of its embassy in North Korea.
In a world where most nations have distanced themselves from Pyongyang, New Delhi has chosen a different path.
It's a move that's as bold as sending a diplomat to the Death Star and expecting Darth Vader to share his plans. Is it gutsy? Absolutely. Is it risky? Perhaps even more so. But the big question is, what's India's game plan here? Let's dive into the motives and implications behind this big decision.
But what does India hope to achieve through this unique engagement with the Kim regime? And how sustainable is this relationship in the face of growing global challenges?
First off, let's talk about India's balancing act in the Korean Peninsula. By reopening its embassy in Pyongyang, India is sending a clear signal that it's still in the game, sanctions or not. But this isn't just about diplomatic formality. There is a bigger reason. North Korea's shady tech bromance with Pakistan. The exchange of nuclear weapons and missile technology between these two nations has always been a concern for a while for India now. The mere thought of a rogue nuke in its neighborhood is nothing short of a nightmare. So, India wants to keep an eye on the ground level activities in Pyongyang and ensure that it stays informed. Now, let's talk about India's strategic autonomy. This isn't just a regional balancing act, it's also a display of India's diplomatic independence. Instead of blindly following the Western narrative, India is writing its own playbook. This move also sends a subtle but firm message to China. We see what you're doing in Pyongyang and we're here to establish our own presence.
Unlike the West, which largely shuns North Korea, India has sustained a dialogue, making it one of just 25 countries worldwide with an embassy in Pyongyang.
These strategic moves are not just about stepping out of Beijing's shadow, but also about carving out a unique role in the region for ourselves. But this isn't all about geopolitics. India has a history of engaging with North Korea through food aid, medicines, and training programs.
This relationship isn't just symbolic. From cultural exchanges to agreements in science and technology, New Delhi has been an active participant in engaging with North Korea.
It's a demonstration of soft power. You could call it a gesture of diplomatic goodwill or a calculated effort to build relations with an isolated neighbor that relies heavily on external support. From every angle, this humanitarian approach can also be seen as a way to ease tensions in an otherwise very volatile geopolitical climate and region. That said, there's a giant question mark hanging over this. The nuclear elephant in the room. Let's talk about it. North Korea's nuclear program and its deep ties with Pakistan remain massive challenges for India. No matter what Kim Jong-un promises, can India really trust him? This is the same regime that talks about peace one day and fires missiles the next day. This unpredictability makes dealing with North Korea a constant challenge, no matter how diplomatic India's approach might be or get. And what about the West? For Uncle Sam, for Washington, this move is a mixed bag. On one hand, India is engaging with North Korea might seem like a dilution of US's isolate Pyongyang strategy.
India's engagement with North Korea has had its fair share of controversy.
On the other hand, US might quietly hope that India could act as a neutral middleman. Then there is the reaction from the usual suspects. Russia will be slow clapping in approval. Diplomacy with North Korea means less Western dominance. China's reaction might be mixed. On one hand, they could see this as a stabilizing move for the region. On the other hand, they might worry that India is stepping into their own backyard trying to expand its own influence. As for Iran, they'd probably applaud this decision, understanding all too well the value of keeping diplomatic channels open after experiencing years of isolation themselves. So, that's the full context behind India reopening its embassy in North Korea. It's like walking a tightrope on a pit of nuclear alligators. Is it strategic? Definitely, without a doubt. But what's next? Will this move bring balance to the region or stir up few new tensions? That is something we'll just have to wait and see.